Welcome to Caskets and Cocktails, Memoirs of a Cemetery Dude. Get ready for a hilarious dive into the world of death care where cemetery industry veteran Mr. Danny and his daughter Katie will answer all those crazy questions you've been dying to ask. Go ahead and pour yourself a drink, pull up a rocking chair, and get ready for some laughs because we guarantee Caskets and Cocktails will be the last ones to let you down.
Hey guys, welcome to Caskets and Cocktails. I'm Katie Leverett.
I'm Danny Faulkner. I'm her daddy.
And this is our second episode of Caskets and Cocktails. And man, our first one is getting awesome feedback. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too, and I don't normally get excited.
We got some comments out there like, too damn funny, love the first episode, keep it up. That was actually from a stranger. That was from somebody I don't know. I'm trying to eliminate some of the ones I did know. Another one was, what a great episode. You guys had me cracking up in the car. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I'm sad to say this. It says, Mr. Tommy and Katie are just fabulous.
Who the hell is Mr. Tommy?
I think that's supposed to be you.
Oh.
But they said that we're so entertaining and we made that person smile. So
Oh, well, that's good.
I love it. I love making people smile.
That's good. You can call me Tommy.
Yeah, call him Tommy.
I won't answer, but you can call me Tommy.
Well, guys, so we had a ton of feedback. I got a bunch of emails. And lots of the emails were asking, in the last episode, we told people what you put into a casket, the weirdest thing you put into the casket. But you did happen to kind of mention that there was a time where you opened a casket to take something out. And so folks have been asking, what is it that he took out? We want to know. So tell us, can you spill the beans?
Well, it was really strange. We had done a burial, and we'd just gotten through with the burial. I mean, the guys had just covered up the last bit of dirt, and it was just finishing up. And here comes the hearse back over the hill. And he pulled up in front, and I said, what the hell are you doing here? And he said, you got to dig her up.
Was he freaked out, or was he just like...
No, he was freaking.
Oh, really?
He was really, really upset. He said, you guys got to dig her up. And I said, I'm not digging up anybody. And he said, no, you have to. Mm-hmm. You have to dig up.
Did he
dig her up?
Say why?
And I said, well, why? Why? He said, well, I messed up. He said, we buried her, we showed her in her diamonds.
Oh, no.
And we buried her in her diamonds.
Oh, no.
And I was supposed to take her diamonds off and give them to the family.
Oh, that's a big uh-oh.
It's huge. And so I told him, I said, listen, I'm not digging anybody up unless I've got a court order. Mm-hmm. And he started just about to start crying.
Oh.
He was going, look, we're in deep trouble here. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. You send me a family representative, whoever it is, a son, a daughter, a son-in-law, I don't care. You send me a family representative, and he'll sign a disinterment, reinterment sheet. Mm-hmm. And it protected the funeral director just like it protected me.
Right.
But, so he said, just give me a minute. So it was back in the days where cell phones were coming out. So
Did he have to go out to his car and get the giant
Yeah.
bag phone to call?
Well, it was the phone that was stuck in his car. With
in the hearse.
Yeah, with a little cord.
I mean, that's kind of like a fancy hearse back in the day. Not only are you driving a hearse, but you got a cell phone in it.
Yeah, but I mean, you can do a lot of things in a hearse if you think about it.
Nobody wants to think about that.
But he called and got a family member willing to come over. So the family member came over. We disinterred her.
So what does that mean?
That means we dug her up. It's a lot easier, 10 times easier to bury somebody than it is to dig somebody up.
I guess you're not like preparing to dig them up, right?
No.
Like this is the one and only time you're doing this.
Bingo. So we decided that, we would go ahead and do this. So we decided to dig her up, and they signed all the documentation and pulled her out, pulled the casket up, pulled the vault up, then pulled the casket out of the vault. And we had a tent, and it was completely covered in curtains. And I made sure that the son-in-law stayed right there the whole time.
Ugh, that does not sound like a good job.
It wouldn't be a fun job for me, I'm telling you. But, however, when they opened the casket, it was like a pirate's treasure chest.
You're kidding.
No. She had a diamond necklace. She had diamond rings. She had diamond bracelets. She had a diamond brooch.
Oh my goodness. And all of that went under with her.
Yes. And so the funeral director took it all off of her and the family member was standing there holding a bag, and the funeral director put it all in that bag. So I knew that the family member got everything they wanted. She had diamond earrings.
You're kidding.
No, she had everything.
She was just dripping.
She was dripping in diamonds. And so...
I'm picturing like the Goonies, at the end where they finally make it to the pirate ship, and the girls have all this stuff just piled all over them, kind of like that.
It was kind of like that, yeah. Yeah, it was. It was kind of like that.
Except like an older, deader version.
But that funeral home that we worked with there, they paid us to do that. And my family had used that funeral home. I mean, I'm not talking about a funeral home that did stupid stuff.
Oh, it was like a big deal one.
It was a big deal funeral home, and they really, really felt sorry about it.
Yeah.
So they forgot that.
Yeah.
And we got the diamonds, which God only knows how much they were worth. $50,000, $60,000, $70,000.
Oh my goodness.
And this was a long time ago. And that was the first time that they screwed up.
So you've been working for them a long time. So this isn't like a normal thing. Like you don't have to worry about setting your grandma up in her fur coat and her going under it. Not normally.
Not normally. Now, they did make another mistake.
Oh, no.
We had what was called a chapel mausoleum. It's a mausoleum, and it's got a big chapel in it with a stained glass window. We were going to have a chapel service, and they were going to bring the body over, and everybody was meeting there like a graveside service. So everybody was meeting there. And So they pulled up.
So, like, instead of doing it at a church, they do it there.
Yes.
Okay,
right,
I got you.
exactly.
I'm following you.
And so the guy, the funeral director shows up, and he's driving the flower van. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of waiting around, and I said, what do we do now? Mm-hmm. And he said, let me go to the office and call. So he went to the office and called, and he called this guy. Mm-hmm. That they had 2 locations. Mm-hmm. He called this guy at this second location, and he told him, he said, where are you? And he said, well, I didn't know I was supposed to be there.
Oh, my God. So all these people are here.
Oh, yeah, everybody's there.
And there's no casket?
There's no nothing.
No nothing.
And
oh, my Lord.
He said, well, go back, get the new hearse.
Oh, no.
Whatever that means. Get the new hearse, because the casket's in the new hearse.
So, did he drive an empty hearse over?
He drove, no.
Oh, he was in the flower truck.
He was in the flower truck. And so he had all the flowers and all that stuff. So, the guy goes back to the funeral home, gets the new hearse, and just rushes over there. Because he was a new guy. He was an apprentice or a novice or whatever. But anyway, so he drives the hearse over there just as fast as he could. He shows up 25 minutes later.
I mean, that's a long time to be sitting around with no...
with nobody.
With nobody.
Yeah.
Did they start, or was everybody just kind of...
No, everybody's waiting on him.
And everybody kind of knew something was up, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Ugh.
And so he shows up. And they get all the pallbearers there gathered up to carry the casket into the mausoleum for the chapel service. And so they opened the door, and it was empty.
No!
It was empty. It was empty.
Stop it.
Yeah. He had forgotten to look at the hearse.
Oh, that is awful.
And I'm talking about a good funeral home. This is a funeral home that was great. It held all of our family members. It was great.
So I have a question. What do you think would be more awkward to be at? A funeral where the body didn't show up and then you thought it showed up but it didn't? Or a wedding where you're sitting there waiting and no bride walks down? What's more awkward?
The funeral.
I think so too.
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That sounds just awful. Were the family members really freaking out?
Oh, they were. They were freaking out.
I would think that they lost Mama.
And he was going around trying to calm everybody down and all that stuff.
How do you do that? What do you say?
Could you imagine what he said to that poor bastard that showed up with an empty hearse?
Oh, God.
He chewed him out. I mean, he chewed him out.
I bet he wasn't an apprentice for much longer.
No, he wasn't. So he went back, got the casket, brought it back, and we had the service, and everything turned out just fine. But there was an hour.
Oh, that makes me just cringe.
Hour and a half that was kind of touch and go.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is just crazy. So that was really exciting. Not only do we have a missing body, but we also had a body that just came unburied. It's the worst. Both of those are pretty terrible.
Yes.
So, to move on from something pretty terrible, we do have a great voicemail from a listener.
Yeah?
Okay, are you
Okay.
ready for it? We're going to play it.
I think I am.
Okay, we're going to play it and then answer it. So everybody hang tight.
Hi, Katie and Mr. Danny. This is Jessica. I have always been super interested in history and also kind of the more macabre elements of all the things that kind of go into that. So I was curious about maybe some of the things in the death care industry we're still using that maybe even goes back to the Egyptians, or things that they were doing right to preserve bodies, and maybe things that we've learned along the way that don't kind of translate so well. So I'm so excited to see all the awesome questions and answers and cool stories that come out of this, and we're really excited about Caskets and Cocktails. Thanks.
So, Jess, that was an intense question. I'm really excited about it. I watch Discovery Channel. I see all the mummy shows, all that kind of stuff. What do you think, Mr. Danny?
Well, they're not right.
Who's not right? The Egyptians?
Yeah, the all of those shows aren't right.
Oh, the shows. Okay.
You know, over the last 3,500 years or 4,000 years or however long it is, we have developed into, we put the fun in funeral.
Oh, I like it. The fun and funeral.
And these, back then, they would take all of the parts out and put them in jars, and they would pickle you.
Ugh.
And then they'd wrap you up in gauze.
Yeah.
And then,
Like a mummy.
Like a mummy. And then, because it's 0% humidity, it would just mummify you.
Yeah.
And we can't do that where we live here.
No. We have like 40,000 degrees humidity.
Exactly. We're just like drinking water.
Yeah.
Every time we breathe.
Exactly.
But our embalmers, funeral directors, which I'm not a funeral director and I'm not an embalmer.
Well, what's kind of the difference between, I know what an embalmer does, but the difference between like cemetery and funeral?
Okay, a funeral director and an embalmer, they have the body for 3 days.
Okay.
A cemetery guy like me, we have the body forever.
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 Oh, well, I guess that is true. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah. You know, we bury them, and whenever anything goes wrong or you're not happy or, you know, the grave sinks a little bit or whatever, you come see us, and we have to go fix it.
Right.
But the funeral director and the embalmer, they've gone on to something else.
So they really have the fun in the funeral, huh?
They have the fun in the funeral. And we have the, I don't know.
It's like after
in cemetery.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe after, I don't know.
But anyway, it's totally different. Completely different.
Kind of like
From
a plastic surgeon for a dead person now.
Well, maybe, yeah. Yeah, maybe so. Because a lot of times they do have to reconstruct. But there's a huge difference between 4,000 years ago, 3,500, 4,000 years ago, and today. As to what these guys do for a living. And it's a lot of hard work, and it's very artistic. Because, I mean, imagine you're a dead person.
Right. I don't want to imagine I'm the dead person.
And those guys have to fix you up to where you look like you're about to sit up.
Oh, that's creepy.
I know. But that's the way our culture is.
That's true. You don't think about it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, the sit-up thing, that kind of like really threw me for a loop for a second.
Yeah.
I choked on my wine a little bit.
But, that's the way people want to see them.
Right.
People want to see them to where they say, well, he looks like he'd just sit up and walk out of here.
Is that really what people want to see?
That's what they want to see.
Ugh.
And we give it to them.
Well, I mean, it looks, I can promise you, it looks a lot better than those mummy documentaries I've seen.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot better than Mummy with the teeth and all that stuff.
Yeah. Woo.
But, today's embalmers are miles ahead of 3,500 years ago.
Well, that's a good thing.
So, I don't know that I answered
Jess's question. I thought you did. I think that was a great question, and I think that was a great answer. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much, Jess. We are really excited about this podcast, and I can't wait for episode 3.
I'm excited.
You're excited,
I'm
too.
excited. I've got several ideas, but you got to direct me on them.
Well, and also we got to get the questions in. So you guys out there,
right.
keep emailing your questions. Call us. You can download the Anchor app and leave us a voicemail. And just like Jess, today we can just drag you over and place you into the episode. And you can be a part of Caskets and Cocktails. And I hope that you guys hit subscribe. If you could, please be sure to go out and leave us a review on iTunes. Rate us, leave us a review. We want to hear your feedback. Give us some emails or DMs on Instagram or Facebook. And we just cannot wait to do episode 3. I'm having so much fun with you, Daddy. Thank you so much for doing this.
I appreciate it. I'm having fun with you, too.
Yeah.
But everybody has got to subscribe, whether it's to our podcast or our video on YouTube or whatever. Everybody's got to subscribe and tell your friends about it if you like it.
Absolutely. Share this episode, and we're going to have some really fun things, competitions coming up on Facebook and Instagram, so be sure to follow us there in order to hop in and be a part of it. And I can't wait till next week.
All right, I'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet is a comedy podcast featuring brother and sister duo Alex and Christina as they recap dramatic readings of 1-star reviews written by real people with not so real problems. Whether it's a bar's no throw-up policy, a barista who's just too friendly, or a school psychologist's fashion sense, prepare for equal amounts of laughter and eye-rolling. Listen to Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast apps. You can also find them on all social media platforms at Beach Too Sandy.